wonderful fall afternoon in the state of Texas. The roof is open, and we've got football from NRG Stadium in Houston. The scene from a few moments ago, this crowd enthusiastically cheering on their Texans as they emerge from the locker room. And we're just about ready for football as the Texans get set to match up with the Cincinnati Bengals. We are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. Taking it about the 1. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Now a play fake, and it's Watson. He finds his man, complete. That's Mills. And he'll be corralled right around the 34.
You don't always expect tight ends to be big in terms of run after the catch, but after that play, he joins a growing band of players that's putting that stereotype right on its ear.
A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Here's Watson. And this is incomplete. So, Charles, you look at this offense, and really on paper, at least, a great situation for them upcoming. They're unbeaten on the year, an open week coming up after this. So I guess my question, any worry that maybe this is coming at the wrong time?
Oh, definitely I would be worried about this game, maybe more than any other on the schedule, because I know my guys are looking ahead to that open week. I've got to keep them focused on the task ahead, make sure they take care of business in this one. Otherwise, you're talking about a double trap. The trap of losing the game and then having the open week and having to stew about it.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Again, it's Watson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The former 2nd-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. Well, this defense for the Texans, they were very good last week in the win over New Orleans.
Anytime you can hold a team to less than 10 points, your expectation of winning that game has to be sky high. In fact, you'd be absolutely stunned to come away with a loss in that one. Could you imagine going to the press conference and trying to explain that?
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Now they go play action now. Burrow. Now he lets it go deep for Kirk. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
I usually hesitate when I say a guy's got world-class speed, but this guy might. So let's fire the starter's pistol. Let's go. If you've got him, you've got to try and use him. A lot of anticipation with the ball in the air, but no, incomplete.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Here's Burrow. Trying to get it to Chase, but it's intercepted. Ronnie Johnson picks it.
this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
After the interception, here's Watson. He'll buy some time right. This is caught by Evans. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
On 2nd and goal, Watson. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. And the Bengals are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not.
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. The thing that they'll be looking at is a spot of the football, and this is always such a tough one for officials to get exactly right.
Not just because of how fast the game's going, but just trying to get the right sight line to the football. That's not always easy. We'll see what they decide here.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. So, Charles, a nice throw there by a man who, until this week, was the backup here, elevated to get the start due to injury. How different do you think this offense will be?
Well, the hope is not much, but obviously it's hard to say until you get out there and see how your guys respond. Unfortunately, this might just be a 1 or 2 week absence. But I do think that this unit has faith in him. They believe that he can play well, and they're going to band together to give him every opportunity.
And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. A big connection on that one. 36 yards.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. He's been a big play guy from the word go and continues to be one with another one right there.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Burrow bats it forward. It's a jet sweep. And he's not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now there's also a flag down, and it's in the area of holding. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Burrow on play action. Dancing to his left. They get a good chunk of that penalty yardage back. A gain of 15. 2nd down.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
from the 9, 2nd and 5. Look at this, a tight end carry. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3. Now it's Burrow. This is caught. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Off the play fake, here's Burrow, rolling to his right. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line, 2nd and goal. They go back to the ground now with Mixon. They get 3 yards closer, but still work to do. It's 3rd and goal. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
About a half yard from the end zone, 3rd and goal. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. Christian Kirk, his first touchdown on the year. And the Bengals are going to take a first-quarter lead. Extra point right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number? And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off at the 36. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
Mixon with a first down carry. Nifty move. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds. 42 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
Here we go. 11 MT tape.
They'll give it to Mixon. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
Here we go. Ready?
On 2nd and goal, one man stands in the backfield, and that's Mixon. Now it's Burrow. Flushed out right. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Joe Burrow with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Bengals are able to grow their lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 14-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw them.
And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Trey Hendrickson. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Watson. And incomplete on the deep ball.
As we've seen, their first 2 drives didn't yield anything points-wise. Certainly feels like they think to themselves, it's time to open this thing up, taking the big shot downfield.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Airing this one out for Evans. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. And they are over 500 for the season, 4-3. They got back above 500 with a victory last week. And, Charles, you think this is a very important week for them, do you not?
I certainly do, because when you start to do the math, and yes, I'm using...
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked up by Justin Reed. And the Texans are going to take over at their own 30-yard line. That was just one of those interceptions from our perspective here. We got a good view at the 50-yard line mid-level that quarterback and receiver were not on the same page.
Just by his reaction, I'm talking about the quarterback, he expected something different from his receiver, whether he expected him to break in, out, deeper, shorter. They'll determine that on the sideline. But bottom line, you can see that he thought he'd be in a different spot, except the defender was not his intended target.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Out of the gun, they run it with Hunt. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
On 1st down, they'll run with Hunt. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They'll try the air now with Watson. And he's going to dump this off to his running back, Hunt. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And this ball incomplete. Looked very much to be a catchable ball and could not hang on. Second down coming up. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. From the gun, here's Watson. And his throw here's incomplete.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series before you get out there. Hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
Watson looks to throw again. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a first down. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down. Plenty of shouts from this crowd as they watch the replay. They want a challenge, and they're going to get one. And we'll get a moment here as they look this one over.
Yeah, remember now, the call on the field is what they'll stick with unless they have clear video evidence to the contrary. And I give these officials a lot of credit. Such a tough and demanding job. You and I both know that. Yeah, they make the right call way more often than they get it wrong. But when you do call quarterback sneak, you don't mind if your quarterback's a little bit on the vertically challenged side, do you? Because he's just going to hide behind his big guys up front and be able to surge forward and pick up the first down.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A carry here for Hunt. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And he stopped immediately there. Officially, it's no gain on the play, and they'll remain a few inches shy of a first with 3rd down looming. The offense on 3rd down tonight, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're looking at 3rd and the nose of the football. They'll try to run for the first down with Hunt. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line.
That's about what you would expect since they're so efficient on picking up 3rd downs in the top 5 in the NFL. It's all a mindset, and I'm guarantee you, it started in the offseason. 3rd down's important to them. They find a way to pick them up at a very good clip.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Well, they certainly did a nice job there, picking him up out of the backfield and then running stride for stride with him. That's good coverage, and it led to an incompletion.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson. And that will be caught, but out of the end zone, says the field judge. It's ruled incomplete.
The scoreboard tells a story for him, a little bit bleak. And while it's not quite desperation time yet, it's definitely getting close. But the defense reads the scoreboard as well. They're going to back up and make them really earn it.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down. And Boswell's kick is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So from an offensive perspective, at least able to get on the board here right in front of the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, now it's time to talk about complementary football, isn't it? Because if the defense can force a 3-and-out, there could be enough time on the clock that they can get the ball back for their offensive guys and maybe put some more points on the board before the half.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And last time, one play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. From the gun, a give to Mixon. Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. And he will be taken down, but a big play there as it comes just as we reach the 2-minute warning. 78 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
Get set. Ready.
Now Joe Mixon. Even with that broken tackle, he'll be brought down short of the 15. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
On 2nd and 9, Burrow. Now Burrow loses the football.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So danger averted for the moment, but now here's a 3rd and long. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And his kick here is good. And they will stretch the lead now to 17-3. So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You've got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
I believe they buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play with all reviews coming from the replay official here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So that challenge, a successful one. Watson's throw pulled in by Robinson here.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half. Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into his windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
Mike 51, Mike 51.
On 1st and 10, Watson airing this one out for Evans. Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. Touchdown, Houston. Mike Evans, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Texans get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Boswell good with the extra point. And that'll cut the lead down to a touchdown. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. Bengals drive about to get going, as they will take over here with a little more than 30 seconds remaining. And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. Jonah Williams, former first-round pick, the guilty party. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. Room past the 20, as they'll finally stop him at the 23-yard line. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. They'll come up now on 2nd and a yard. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. A throw complete to the tight end, Tunyon. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Burrow going to fake to mix it and now look to throw. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on the sack. So we have reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Bengals out in front as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
These two clubs running through their final halftime adjustments. It's just about time to get back at it. And for the call of the second half, we go back out to Houston, H-Town, and Brandon Gaudin.
Okay, Coach. Yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Bengals drive about to get going. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want us to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
Back to Mixon on second down. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 111 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
Nice play call, a little bit of play action right there. If you can get those linebackers to freeze for just a split second, that's usually all the room you need in order to get it to your tight end.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 37-yard line. Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. Flashed the stick skills, but didn't get a ton from it. Stopped short of the 35. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Play action. It's Burrow. Eluding the pressure right. And he wisely will throw that one away. So third down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. Burrow will throw. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Justin Reed. And the Texans are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
Watson on first down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Mills. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
Nice job, nice patience right there. Put him on the right side, let him work his way across, put the ball in his hands, and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
Faking the give. Now Watson. Airing this one out for Evans. And that is incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Watson, and he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. But the passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Again, it's Watson. And that is incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the Bengals will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try to put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 123 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues. A good gain on first has him set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. And they go play action now. Burrow being chased out left. And Burrow going to slide to the ground as he does pick up the 1st down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. It's Mixon on the counter. And he's got a good gain of 7 up to the 37.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Back to Mixon on 2nd down. And he's got a Bengals 1st down as the tackle made it about the 43-yard line.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key 1st downs and big runs.
A couple of 1st downs has the football positioned at the 43 as they come up 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. Throw left side, complete to Chase. He had a great move, but he'll still be stopped shy of midfield. 7 yards, the pickup there. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
From just shy of midfield, Burrow. Throw right side is going to be caught by Kirk. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds.
First down, Bengals.
Here we go, here we go. Back.
On first down, Mixon. Solid running on the carry, but still brought down just inside the 40. A gain of 3, second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
From the 39, Burrow. They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's third down. So nothing there on the screen that time.
That means all that great acting they tried on offense went for naught, didn't it? Because you have to try and influence them. Make them think that you're doing something else. Make them think that they can get to the passer by letting them by and then setting up the screen and getting downfield. Didn't happen at all. Give a lot of credit to the defense for not tumbling to that one.
On third down, Mixon. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up fourth down. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And his kick is right there. It's good. So that, Charles, a season long, and since he's a rookie, I guess we can go ahead and call that a career long as well.
I love how you put that together because, you know, there's where everyone at home was saying, okay, has to be career, right, since he's a rookie. Well done by you, but I definitely like what I've seen from him so far this year. Very distinguished college career. He's looking right at home here in the NFL.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, second and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On second and very short, Watson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? They'll run on first down. It's Hunt. He takes it down to the 42, a 5-yard run.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
2nd and 5 now. Watson. Open man is Duvernay. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 24-yard line.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a one-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try to get the ball back again.
And down inside the 15 he goes. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, but he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Robinson. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. 7 yards, the pickup there. From the 6 now on 2nd and 3. They'll run with Hunt. And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Here's Watson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Trey Hendrickson picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They got to get at the least a 3 and out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
The Bengals drive about to get going. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a 1-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
On 1st down, Mixon. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Oh, nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
They'll run on 1st down. Mixon. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. An ideal spot here to get a 1st down and try to run some more clock, and this is 2nd and less than a yard. They run the counter. Mixon powers through. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Well, they've had success on the ground on this drive, and that makes a defense more likely to overcommit to stop the run as they did on that play. But keep in mind, it makes them susceptible to play-action passes as well.
So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's 2nd and goal. Here's a give to Mixon, and he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
And he'll wind up getting about 6 out of that, as that's going to lead us to the 2-minute warning. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They're looking at a 4th down now as they try to hold on to this lead for dear life. And his kick is good. And that will push the lead up to double digits now at 10. So that one, CD, going to make the road back a lot more difficult.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. You know they were praying on the other sideline for a miss because now, as you pointed out, a very difficult road. Down 2 scores. You don't just need a touchdown. You need a chain of events to go your way. You've got to score, somehow give the ball back, and score again. The odds of that happening, not great in your favor.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal, field goal, field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder. It puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Now Watson. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this one incomplete. A 50-50 ball in the end, nearly intercepted. And now it's 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Here's Watson. And that ball incomplete, nearly intercepted. Took a chance with that one. It'll lead to a 4th down.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a 1st down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Desperation time. Watson on 4th down. He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. The D can only stop it one more time as they take the knee.
Here we go.
The Bengals go down to a knee in the victory formation. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. The Bengals go down to a knee in the victory formation. So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals, and they were really helped by their defense, forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of... But now, it's about taking the ball away. Taking away possessions, getting the ball back for their offense. They had 3 takeaways in this one, and it led them to victory.
So for the Bengals, they improved to 5-3 as they approach the halfway point of the 17-game schedule. And they'll return home next week to take on the Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, for Houston, the perfect season was apparently not meant to be as they drop to 7-1. And they'll take this loss into the bye as they'll be back in action in Week 10.
All right, on the clock now, the Bills. The football team now on the clock. Let's see what they do. The Lions on the clock now. On the clock now, it's the Broncos, and time is ticking. All right, now on the clock, the Chargers. All right, next up, the Jets are on the clock. And the Browns on the clock now. Let's see what direction they go in. And the Rams now on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? The Panthers now on the clock. It's the Saints now on the clock. All right, next up, the Titans are on the clock. The Buccaneers are on the clock now. All right, it's the Browns now on the clock. Okay, here we go. The Vikings on the clock now. Okay, the Giants up now. They're on the clock. And now on the clock, it's the Cardinals. The Bears are now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Texans, and time is ticking. The Chargers now on the clock. The Jets now on the clock. Let's see what they do. Okay, it's the Rams up now. They're on the clock. Okay, the Eagles on the clock now. Okay, it's the Bills now on the clock. Okay, here we go. The Cardinals now on the clock. Okay, here we go. The Jets now on the clock. Okay, the Chiefs are on the clock now. Okay, the Ravens are on the clock now. Okay, it's the Saints now on the clock. And now we turn to the Bengals. It's their selection. On the clock now, it's the Packers, and time is ticking. Washington is now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. All right, it's now the Vikings' turn. They're up. On the clock now, it's the Rams, and time is ticking. Okay, next up, it's the Broncos on the clock. Okay, the Chargers up now. They're on the clock. And the Panthers on the clock now. Let's see what direction they go. The Raiders now on the clock. The Rams on the clock now. All right, it's the Panthers now on the clock. All right, now on the clock, the Rams. Okay, it's the Titans now on the clock. The Bucks on the clock now. Let's see who they have their eye on. The Ravens are up now. Let's see what direction they go. All right, next up, the Colts are on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Giants, and time is ticking. All right, next up, the Patriots are on the clock. The Bears are up now. Let's see what direction they go. The Saints are now on the clock. Okay, the Browns on the clock now. All right, the Jaguars are now on the clock. All right, next up, the football team on the clock. Now we turn to the Browns. They're on the clock. All right, the Broncos are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. Now the Broncos are on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? On the clock now, the Chiefs. The Cardinals on the clock now. What direction will they go? Okay, next up, it's the Packers on the clock. And now we turn to the WFT. It's their selection. The 49ers now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Lions on the clock now. What direction will they go? The Browns are now on the clock. Okay, here we go. Washington now on the clock. And the Eagles on the clock now. Let's see what direction they go. The Broncos are on the clock now. And the Chargers now on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? On the clock now, it's the Broncos, and time is ticking. All right, now it's the Raiders' turn. They're up. On the clock now, it's the Buccaneers. Okay, the Panthers on the clock now. Okay, next up, it's the Dolphins on the clock. The Titans now on the clock. It's the Cowboys now on the clock. All right, the Ravens are now on the clock. And now on the clock, it's the Vikings. And the Giants now on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? All right, now it's the Cardinals' turn. They're up. On the clock now, the Bears. Okay, it's the Patriots on the clock now. All right, next up, the Bucks are on the clock. On the clock now, the Jaguars. Okay, it's the Bucks now on the clock. Now we turn to the Eagles. They're on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. Now the Seahawks are on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? All right, on the clock now, the Cowboys. On the clock now, it's the Titans. And the Steelers on the clock now. Let's see what direction they go. Now the Packers are on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? And the Texans now on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? Okay, here we go. The Bengals now on the clock. All right, the Packers are now on the clock. All right, on the clock now, the Lions. And the Browns on the clock now. Let's see what direction they go in. The football team now on the clock. Let's see what they do. And the Rams now on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? Okay, next up, it's the Broncos on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Chargers, and time is ticking. Okay, the Steelers on the clock now. The Chiefs on the clock now. The Buccaneers are on the clock now. Now we turn to the Panthers. They're on the clock. All right, the Dolphins are now on the clock. All right, the Broncos are now on the clock. The Cowboys on the clock now. What direction will they go? The Ravens are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Giants are on the clock now. And now on the clock, it's the Cardinals. Okay, the Bears are on the clock now. All right, now on the clock, the Texans. It's the Bills now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. All right, the Seahawks are now on the clock. All right, the Bears are now on the clock. Okay, here we go. The 49ers now on the clock. Okay, next up, it's the Seahawks on the clock. Okay, it's the Cowboys now on the clock. All right, the Chiefs are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. All right, on the clock now, the Saints. The Saints are on the clock now. What direction will they go? The Bengals are on the clock now. On the clock now, it's the Packers, and time is ticking. It's the Lions now on the clock. All right, it's the Browns now on the clock. Washington is now on the clock. Okay, it's the Rams up now. They're on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Jaguars are up now. Let's see what direction they go in. The Seahawks are on the clock now. All right, it's the Eagles now on the clock. And now on the clock, it's the 49ers. On the clock now, it's the Seahawks, and time is ticking. The Cowboys now on the clock. The Chiefs are up now. Let's see what direction they go. On the clock now, it's the Patriots. On the clock now, the Ravens. The Patriots on the clock right now. Let's see who they have their eye on. The Bengals now on the clock. Let's see what they do. Okay, next up, it's the Packers on the clock. Okay, it's the Lions now on the clock. Okay, the Browns on the clock now. All right, next up, the football team on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Rams, and time is ticking. Now the Broncos are on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? All right, now on the clock, the Chargers. Now the Seahawks are on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? Okay, here we go. The Raiders now on the clock. The Bucks on the clock now. Let's see who they have their eye on. The Panthers now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Dolphins, and time is ticking. The Titans on the clock now. Let's see who they have their eye on. All right, it's the Steelers now on the clock. Okay, the Ravens are on the clock now. The Vikings are on the clock now. What direction will they go? All right, now on the clock, the Giants. Okay, here we go. The Cardinals now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. Okay, the Texans up now. They're on the clock. The Bills on the clock now. What direction will they go? All right, the Seahawks are now on the clock. Okay, next up, it's the Seahawks on the clock. Okay, the Jaguars are now on the clock. The 49ers on the clock now. What direction will they go? It's the Saints now on the clock. It's the Cowboys now on the clock. Okay, the Chiefs are on the clock now. All right, next up, the Patriots are on the clock. The Seahawks are on the clock now. All right, next up, the Titans are on the clock. All right, it's now the 49ers' turn. They're up. The Packers are now on the clock. The Rams on the clock now. Now we turn to the Browns. They're on the clock. And now we turn to the WFT. It's their selection. On the clock now, it's the Buccaneers. The Broncos are on the clock now. The Chargers now on the clock. All right, next up, the Bucks are on the clock. The Raiders on the clock now. What direction will they go? Okay, it's the Bucks now on the clock. And the Panthers on the clock now. Let's see what direction they go. Now the Dolphins are on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? Now we turn to the Steelers. They're on the clock. All right, on the clock now, the Bills. Okay, here we go. The Vikings on the clock now. Okay, the Giants up now. They're on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Bears are up now. Let's see what direction they go. On the clock now, it's the Giants, and time is ticking. Okay, it's the Bills now on the clock. All right, the Jaguars are now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Seahawks, and time is ticking. Okay, the Eagles on the clock now. The 49ers now on the clock. Okay, it's the Saints now on the clock. All right, on the clock now, the Cowboys. On the clock now, the Chiefs. The Cardinals on the clock now. What direction will they go? Okay, here we go. The Colts now on the clock. And the Giants now on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? All right, next up, the Bengals are on the clock. Now the Packers are on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? There's no question the resume for Darrelle Revis is an intriguing one. His 29 career interceptions are curiously low for a cornerback who played 11 years in the NFL. But those who watched Revis all those years know the full story.